Free speech has to operate by principles. It can't just be we let people speak when we like them and we don't let them speak when we don't like them.
It's essential to promoting any cause.
This conference, which is that's really an important conversation about free speech on the left.
Anyone who's genuinely left-wing by a kind of historical standard, what left meant, should be very much in favor of free speech.
And you can't even talk about this. There's certain lines you must stay within.
There are many, it appears to me, many different parts of the self-identified left today. Some of them are focusing on class and economic issues. Some are more focused on imperialism and war, and some on cultural issues. Are these all equally the left?
Where is the left now? Our fathers fought Franco.
The politics of our fathers' left, and certainly of my left, was about the common good.
The American left is primarily not made up of working class people. It's primarily professional middle class people.
So the one thing I hear over and over again when I bring up this topic is that it's somehow right wing.
Point one, universalism of a tribalism.
But even when you look at the class issue, Black people disproportionately are affected more so than white people.
I'm interested in intersectionality because my dream is that one day we'll have it.
Identity politics is at a very, very superficial level. It has a very damaging effect.
One thing I worry about is sort of feeding the beast of racialized thinking. We've tried this before in history. This has not worked out well.
They don't think that they can get a political system that actually represents their interests.
I had very much a baptism of fire of being silenced.
Many of the people who are pursuing what let's call woke activism are resigned to the idea that there's not much else you can change, but at least we can change our language.
Policing of language has reached a really critical stage.
It's not completely ridiculous to say language can be harmful and that it can be worse than physical violence.
We're not very far away from the misogyny of the 17th century.
There's a religious conviction about this language question.
Public shaming is how we have controlled society for millennia.
People always compare now to 1984 and Orwell, but I think it's more apt to compare it to the Crucible.
People say we should be teaching the Crucible.
I'm just now realizing that capitalism has a lot to do with identity politics.
Even when you look at the class issue, Black people are still at the bottom.
And anyone who's on the left should really be thinking straight away who benefits here. What is the state doing? What is capitalism doing? What companies are profiting?
If you look at the homeless rate in this country, by we, I mean African Americans, we're only 13% of the general population, but we make up 40% of the homeless population.
And again, even the World Bank now acknowledges that we have now 1 in 9 people living under extreme poverty on the globe. While there are millions of people starving, the richest 1% has bagged nearly twice as much wealth as the rest of the world put together over the past 2 years.
I find it so wrong-headed that it even becomes offensive to me to hear the argument that somehow capitalism is going to get the credit for the rising standard of living of the last century or two.
Yes, the left is fragmented in this sense, as it should be. There are many different issues, and they're interdependent but separate. So people are working on them, should cooperate, should recognize that there's a common goal, trying to save human society from its folly, destruction, from oppression, violence, terror. It's all the left.
We have to really find ways that alternative media, help cooperates more, creates something bigger with more clout. So we have to build something.
And my guess is that the last 2 or 3 years of rising labor militancy are the opening signs of a reconstruction of the American left as an organized movement that will surprise people.
It's a funny notion, optimism, pessimism of the intellect, optimism of the will.
My view is if a new class movement emerges, that's a big if, but if it does, you'll see a lot of that toxicity will disappear.
And as both Immanuel Kant and Noam Chomsky have said, if we don't retain hope, we won't retain the will to make change. Ergo, hope it's not necessarily a feeling, it's a moral obligation.
I think people long for solidarity.
We should recognize that there is constant bitter class war, the rulers and the ruled, the masters and the servant and the slaves. So which side are you on?